Hello and welcome to the Feminine Millionaire Show. I'm your host, Polly Alexander. I'm a success coach, healer, creative, and future millionaire. If creating money and success in a spiritual and feminine and joyful way is your goal, this show is for you. Let's all rise together. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Feminine Millionaire Show. Stop doing this if you want to manifest more abundance. Today's episode is a hard one to birth. I must be on about the 57th take. We have chainsaws going on outside as work is happening to cut down trees in the area. I had switched the aircon off for a better quality sound recording because you actually hear it in the background. And then Teddy Pom Pom started panting because it was too hot. So we went from aircon noise to dog noise. So I can still hear a bit of machinery in the background, but the chainsawing has stopped right now. So without further ado and embracing all the challenges of real life, I will dive in. So welcome from a windy and cloudy, but still very warm Ibiza. The seasons are changing and I'm so grateful for this new energy coming in. This gentle transition out of the intensity of the summer heat is a sweet relief. The winds blow, the waves crash against the rocks with their white foam glistening in the sunlight, and the epic sunsets are back. It's also the end of an era as the Queen made her transition into spirit this week. And as a British business and a British citizen, albeit an ex-resident, I made the decision to push our Abundance Challenge back a week in order to honour the period of national mourning and the Queen's funeral. There's times when the message we're sharing with the world is an energetic match for the climate in the world. And there's a time and place when it isn't. And as entrepreneurs, we get to pivot with the energy that we feel is present in the collective. So the Abundance Challenge, the Accelerate Your Abundance Challenge, will now be happening the week commencing the 26th of September. So if you haven't got yourself in there yet, I invite you to do so now with the link in the show notes. Now, it feels like we're in this transition period from summer into autumn, but we're not yet in autumn, at least certainly not here in Spain. And changing up the pace is amazing with travel and holidays. It brings in fresh ideas and energy. It brings in rest and rejuvenation, new ways of looking at the world, and also lots of fun and joy. And remember, time does not always have to be productive. It's okay to do things just for the pure pleasure and the joy of it. And actually, pleasure is energetically productive too. Both are necessary. But now our minds turn back to work, to business, to school, and to a more steady rhythm of normal life. And there's also a beautiful comfort in routine and actually a freedom in structuring your life that allows you to get on with the business of life, the business of work, with spaces designated for connection, self-care, play, rest, creativity, fun. And there's a real purpose in having a structure for your time that allows for the areas of your life, all the areas of your life, to be heard and seen and held and honoured. I am a big fan of scheduling your time for exactly this. And it doesn't mean cramming every minute of your diary with tasks and meetings. It means allocating time for all areas of your life, including rest, fun, pleasure, play, and creativity. And it also means getting into reality about time. We all have the same amount. So it's about being purposeful and intentional with what you do with it. Time is a huge topic, and I actually devote an entire month to dismantling old beliefs and programs around time in my women's mastermind, Thrive Beautifully, so that you can be freed from the trap of time and excuses about time. We all know the excuses about time, we all use them. I would do that if only I had more time. There's just not enough time in the day. I ran out of time. And we dismantle all this old programming so that you can create a more empowered, whole new relationship with time, one that will bring you a lot more freedom and a lot more ease. Anyway, I digress, and I love a good tangent. Today's episode is really about a simple shift you can make to allow more abundance to flow into your life. Like changing your relationship with time. When you stop complaining about not having enough time and blaming time for where you're at, things really start to shift. Your experience of life really changes. And so we're going to apply that now to money and abundance. Stop doing this if you want to manifest more abundance. What is that? Stop complaining about money and talking lack. So now I'm going to dive into how it shows up, why it shows up, and how to change it, because it shows up for all of us. I have yet to meet a single person that hasn't displayed symptoms. So first of all, how does it show up? Maybe you find yourself saying things like, I'd love to, but I can't afford it. Everything is so expensive these days. Have you seen the price of fuel? The price of electric is ridiculous, especially right now. This dialogue is so prevalent. How could they spend their money on that? Judging others negatively, complaining about your bank balance, comparing your income to others, worrying about the future, saying things like, there's no way I'll be able to afford to pay my electric bill at this rate. Everyone wants you to buy something these days. All of these ways of complaining and talking about money in negative ways and talking lack and scarcity. Yeah. So why does it show up? Why do we find ourselves doing this unconsciously? Well, firstly, it's a collective dialogue. The media propagates it. Our upbringing propagates it. It's part of our culture. It's part of humanity at this time, this culture of lack and scarcity. We cannot not be impacted by it. We are absorbing it from our friends, our family, society, our schools, our workplaces, the media, energetically as well. Why does it show up? Well, essentially, it shows up because of programs deep inside you. And the good news is that you get to shift these programs so that that type of dialogue shows up a lot less for you, that those type of fears show up a lot less for you. It can show up because of a feeling of lack deep inside you. That feeling that I'm just not enough. I'm just not good enough. I'm just not smart enough. I'm just not pretty enough. I'm just not popular enough. I'm just not a good enough writer. Whatever way it shows up for you. It shows up because of fear deep, deep, deep inside you, deep in your cells. This is primal. It's hardwired inside us since cave woman and caveman times. To watch out for danger. To worry about where the next meal's coming from. These are basic survival fears. Will I eat? Will I survive? Will I get eaten by a bear? And these survival fears lie deep inside all of us, okay? And then they get triggered by outside circumstances. So when these kind of dialogues show up in your mind, or you find yourself saying these things out loud, it's a self-protective mechanism. It's designed to protect you and keep you safe. And it's based on your deep unconscious programming and your belief system. So the good news is that you can change it. So how do you change it? So just by listening to this, you are already on the path to change. Awareness comes first. For decades, I was unaware that the way I was speaking about money was contributing to my lack of it. I was blissfully unaware of the unconscious money programs I was running, that I hadn't chosen, I just inherited and absorbed. I wasn't making a conscious decision about my relationship with money. I was allowing others to dictate it. I was allowing my fears to dictate it. I was allowing the money programs I've absorbed in my family, my upbringing, from those around me. So awareness comes first. Awareness of the pattern is the first step. Secondly, a desire for change. You've got to want to change this. Like, why do you want this to be different? What's your desire for more, and what does that look like and feel like? What's the wildest, most abundant vision for your life? Why do you want to change this? And then it's about dismantling these old programs and belief systems. And it's about becoming conscious and catching yourself when you say these things. It takes time to create a new habit. But for every time you catch yourself saying something, you enter the gap where you have a choice, where you can stop yourself mid-sentence after the sentence and say, cancel, clear, delete, or I'm taking that back. And you can say something more empowering instead. So stopping yourself when you find yourself complaining or talking lack, and if that's in dialogue with someone else, you get to walk away from the conversation or change the subject. Changing the subject is really easy to do. And then you take the journey of healing the fearful parts of you that worry about it all running out. And I recommend some new phrases in your vocabulary. For example, instead of saying, I can't afford it, I can't afford to do that, I don't have enough money, and saying that again and again, try out something like, that's not a priority for me right now. I'm choosing not to invest in that right now. You can try it out now and see how much more empowering it feels, how much more positive, how differently you feel about yourself when you say that instead. So I will be sharing more on this amazing topic, including more powerful money and abundance attracting phrases, behaviors, habits, and shifts in my forthcoming Accelerate Your Abundance Challenge. It's 5 days of powerful live sessions with me, Polly, when I dive deeper into the topic of manifesting abundance. It's $33 or yours for free if you sign up by the 18th of September. Thank you, Your Majesty, for extending that. I look forward to seeing you over there, and I wish you a wildly abundant week. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I make this show for you, and it warms my heart to see you sharing your feedback on Instagram stories and on social media. So I just want to say a big thank you to all of you that have screenshot episodes and shared your takeaways, or that you're enjoying it. I really, really appreciate this. Please continue to do so. And if you haven't already left a review and you are listening on Apple iTunes, you can scroll down to the bottom to the ratings and review section and leave a review about the show. I would really love and appreciate that. And I'm wishing you all a wildly abundant week. See you over in the Accelerate Your Abundance Challenge very soon.